Doom, 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 doom. What up, everybody? Welcome to another show, man. Yeah, it's the organic intro today, you see what I'm saying? But we're here. It's $2 Tuesday, man. Our guy Ronald Cabang is the $2 handicapper over at Sports Memo, guys. So that's why he's on the Tuesday show. We always love having Ronald on the show. Hopefully he can come back on Thursday as well, man. But
Yes, sir.
what's up with you, Ronald? Everything cool with you, my brother? Everything
Yeah,
going good?
everything's good, man. $2 Tuesday. I got one play up there. Hopefully we cash that one. NBA man's been kind of crazy lately. You kind of go on you go on a 4-1 day, you go on a 0-2 day. Kind of goes back and forth, but for the most part, man, you gotta trust your stuff, and just continue to do that.
No, right there with you, man. Trust your plays and then live with the results. Andy, my brother, the prop god, how you doing over there? Is everything cool with you?
Yeah, doing good. Like Ronald said, we're on a 5-0 run in NBA, which is terrifying.
Yeah,
Uh, because you're like, do I sit out a couple days, like, 'cause- or
it's
what? But
wild.
so 2-0 last night. So let's hope to keep it rolling. We're seeing the sport pretty well right now.
Yeah, when you're high, Andy, you got to keep it going, man. Then when you take that loss, that's when it's like, all right, now we got to, you know what I'm saying, see what's up, because you worry about the losing streak coming. See what I'm saying? But nah, we hide, man. Let's keep it going in this one, guys. Let's keep it going here today. It's all business on the show. Hope everybody's out there doing well. Everything's going good with everybody in the chat. We appreciate you for tuning in. If you like the show, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well, guys. Let's try to get some cash today here, man. It's all business on the show. First game up. Let's head over here to the streets of Orlando. I'm in Orlando right now to be on a beach right now. You see what I'm saying? I wish, man, but we do have the Magic here, Atlanta Point here at the house versus the Wizards in this one, man. This was a tough game for me to prognosticate because both teams, in my opinion, are in bad spots, and I honestly worry about the Wizards. Have they actually given up on the season? They're starting to tune their coach out. They do have a possible look ahead spot. Kuzma's out in this one. They have the Nuggets on deck tomorrow. Then you have the Magic coming in off a 4-game road trip, West Coast road trip as well, with only one
Mhm.
day of rest. So in theory, kind of two fade spots here, Ronald. Which one? Obviously, it's a pick 'em type of game. Which one do you think comes out on top in this one, my brother?
Yeah, like you mentioned, two kind of fade spots here. There's a bit of a travel fatigue that could hit the Wizards too, because they've been going back and forth home and road for like the last couple of weeks here. First leg of back-to-back games, you said that the Nuggets on deck tomorrow, so possible look ahead there if they really want to get into that play-in contentions. On the Magic side, they can come in all the way from LA. They have covered three straight though. I mean, their defense has been playing pretty well. They kept their last three opponents under their team total. I think the biggest thing here is really Kuzma on the Wizards side. He really affects their team both offensively and defensively, in my opinion. I think on the defensive side it is a little bit more apparent. Their defensive rating goes from 115.1 to 122.5, so they're giving up a lot. And when I looked at the Wizards without Kuzma on the road specifically, they gave up 135 and 130 in those games. And then also that first leg of back to back that you mentioned, specifically on the road, Wizards 2-8 straight up and against the spread in that spot. Not really doing well offensively, only averaging 109.4 per game, losing by an average of about 9. On the Magic side, you mentioned that travel spot, right, from LA back to home. I actually
Mhm.
looked at that specifically because it's an interesting take, right? Because you're going from West Coast all the way from West Coast all the way to Orlando. So Magic on the road versus a Western Conference team, then they come home the following game. They're actually 3-0 straight up and against the spread, also 3-0 to the over. They beat the Warriors and the Pelicans outright. They also dominated the Spurs by 20 in the game against them. Magic to me, they're a bit better offensively on at home than on the road. Defensively, they're in good form. Wizards without Kuzma, not in good form. So I would look towards the Magic here.
I couldn't talk you off that. The riding with the home team and the pick 'em type of game in this one, Andy. And like I say, I personally, what I'm seeing from the Wizards, they might have just given up. They really had a chance at the play in turn. Now they're sitting 2 games out of it, of the 10 seed here, Andy. Are there any props here that you're liking in this one, my brother?
Yeah, this was probably the toughest game props wise. Yeah, it is. I mean, like you said, you got two teams that what are they doing here? So it's a classic Bradley Beal team. Let's overpay the ever living what out of him, and let's not even get close to making the playoffs. So great contract. But hey, he's happy living there, so good for him. I guess the only one I keep kind of gravitating towards is Franz Wagner over his
Mhm.
points, rebounds, and assists. It's at 25.5. He's been going over this. He's gone over in 7 out of 8 games. One game he went under was against San Antonio. But other than that, I mean, recently 36, 28, 28, 31. You mentioned not having Kuzma. So it's, kind of Porzingis or nothing right there in the middle, which opens up the paint a lot. Wagner's been pretty good. There's just not a lot of guys on the Wizards or the Orlando Magic that I trust. Banchero, he always dances around his points. He can't really go there. Fultz kind of dances around his number, but Wagner over his PRA, it's the only thing I kind of like in this game, to be honest. This is kind of a stay away for props.
Yeah, it's super tough one, man. I'll be honest, I have some prop looks today, Andy. I hope you like them as well, but not much for us on this one. But our guy Ronald does like the Magic -1 in this one, my brother. Cannot talk you off. Like I say, the Wizards, they might have just given up on the season. This will definitely be the type of game that shows us that as well, if they've really given up in this one, guys. So over here to the streets of Atlanta here, guys. Andy, there's where I got a couple props set looking at you. Hawks here, land 14.5 points at the man. Hawks land 14.5. That just sounds funny coming out of our mouth, man. But whatever. Pistons getting back plus 14.5 in this one. We know that the Hawks coming off a terrible loss versus the Spurs. So what I'd like to do when a team's coming off a terrible loss, I'd like to look for them in a bounce back spot in the first quarter. Obviously, this first quarter is enormous, right at -4.5. But I could only look towards the Hawks here in the first quarter and some Saddiq Bey props as well. Now the props will be juggled here today because DeJounte Murray is questionable. They do have a game tomorrow on deck, I'm pretty sure. So versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's a revenge spot as well. Murray with an illness. He don't have no damn illness. He just wants to look ahead to that game tomorrow to the Timberwolves. So I see Murray getting ruled out. Saddiq Bey possibly getting inserted to the starting lineup, going up against his old squad. I like Saddiq Bey over his 3 points made and his points in there. And Andy, what do you think about that one real quick before we kick it to Ronald?
Real quick, Murray is out as of 5 minutes ago.
So. He don't have no damn illness. I tell you that right.
just real quick, I wanted to mention that before Andy goes in. So
appreciate it, Ronald.
He's not feeling good. Just let leave him alone. He's just oh no. So, great prop in this one. Killian Hayes over his turnovers. We cashed that one as a client play the other night. The books set this at 2.5. Look at his turnovers: 4, 4, 5, 5, 5. The guy's throwing it to the other team more than he is his own team. This Pistons offense cracks me up. Like Killian Hayes brings the ball up. He either throws it to the other team or one guy on his team, and then they shoot it. Maybe they might get 2 passes on a possession, maybe, but it's so funny to watch this lack of offense play. But Killian Hayes, and one of the other things is he's playing a ton of minutes. They have so many injuries, especially in the backcourt, that part of the reason he's getting turnovers is this guy's playing 38, 35, 34 minutes a game. Inevitably, you're just going to have some turnovers. So as long as they keep this number at 2.5, Killian Hayes, night in and night out, take him over until they raise this thing to 3.5. Best prop in this game.
I like it. Hayes, man. I don't know, man. I ain't gonna say nothing bad about him, my guy.
You can say it. It's a blown draft pick. You can say it. I mean, just say it.
Oh man, Killian Hayes, man. I don't know. I might go out there and do a little bit better than him, but I'm just saying. But Ronald, how you looking at this game? What do you think about that Hawks in the first quarter in the bounce back spot?
It makes sense as far as like them covering the spread in the first quarter, starting off early. I feel like they're gonna cruise through this game, right? A lot of teams kind of look past the Pistons throughout the season, kind of just like, all right, I'm gonna do enough to just win the game, right? Because especially with the Hawks having this first leg of back-to-back games, right? They got the Wolves up next tomorrow. So yeah, I would actually look more so towards the under or even the Hawks team total under. I just feel like they could win and not have to score a lot of points here. I looked at them as double-digit favorites this season. 3-1 to the under, 4-0 to the under in their team total, but that doesn't mean that they're not covering those games. On the opposite side, the Pistons, they've been a strong under team since like late January. They've gone under in 16 of the last 22 games. In those 22 games, they've allowed their opponent to go over their under their team total and over their team total in only 7 of them. So primarily, like I said, I think teams are just not putting a lot of effort into beating the Pistons. We're really just kind of going through the motions to get through the game and to get to the next game here. So they don't need to score a lot to win the game. I think this goes under here.
That's a good point there. It's a huge revenge spot tomorrow. Remember, they're playing the Timberwolves, the team that just came into their house and literally smacked them up. That was only 2 games ago. They lost 115 to 136. So I'm pretty sure that they remember that. It's just the way that I was looking at it. Like I said, I didn't bet the first quarter, but coming off a horrible loss versus the Spurs at the house here, right? I expect the Hawks to try to get this game over with quick. That way they can really coast the second half. So no way in hell I'm laying the 14.5 points. They will look ahead to the game tomorrow, but when you're coming off such a bad loss, you're coming up, you're going up. I mean, the Pistons are just what the doctor ordered up, in my opinion, for you to give some frustration, in my opinion. So Hawks first quarter will be a heavy lean in that one, and then also Sadiq Bey over his 3 points made and over his points as well. I think he's going to have something up against his old team. We see that time and time again. Players going up against their old squad, they have a little bit of pep in their step in that one, guys. So that would be my top looks in the game. Andy, you didn't like the Sadiq Bey props?
No, those are good. Those are good. Like I said, I love the Killian Hayes turnovers, man. I just love betting on bad point guards to throw the ball to the wrong team. Anytime you can get a point guard that was drafted and has not improved his game or put on any muscle to throw the ball to the wrong team, I'm in.
I'm right there with you, and they're probably starting him for a reason. That's their way of tanking, my guys. Let's head up here to the streets of Brooklyn here, where we have the Brooklyn Nets getting 3.5 points at the house versus the Cleveland Cavaliers in this one. Ronald did see that Jared Allen is questionable. He did fully practice yesterday. That's why this line has come up from, I believe, like one on the opener. It started to steam up 2.5. Now you starting to see 3.5 fours out there. It looks like Jared Allen is likely to come back in this game. Ronald, how you looking at this one, my brother?
Yeah, it's always tough because when you don't know if a key player is going to play or not play. But a lot of things that I'm looking towards is really just the Nets team total under, focusing on what I think is going to happen on one side of the ball here. They're on a 3-game losing streak, failed to cover all 3 games. All 3 games also went under. Tough spot here for not tough, but they're coming. The Cavs are coming off a 23-point win and they're well rested. Sometimes they kind of come into these games where they maybe look ahead. I can't really gauge the Cavs at this point right now, because the Cavs after the All-Star break, they kind of been an over team, right? They've been a strong under team primarily through the season, but after the All-Star break, they're really not. I think their offense, they're really keying in on their offense and not their defense. So even though they're still top 10 in defensive rating, they still a dip from what they have been through the whole season. On the opposite side, the Nets, they're 9-4. To the under since the All-Star break, 4-0 to the under specifically at home. They haven't gone over 104 in any of those games. I think their team total is at like 108 or 107.5 right now. And I looked at the Cavs as conference road favorites. They're 9-3 straight up, 7-4-1 ATS, 8-4 to the under. But if you look at their opponents, they're only averaging 101.5 per game in those 10 games. And the team total for the Nets, like I said, 107.5, 108. They've only allowed 108 or more just actually twice. They gave up 108, then they gave up like 130 to somebody. I forgot who it was. But other than that, they've been keeping opponents under like 103, under 100 multiple times. So I would think Nets team total under would be a play here.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off there. Yeah, and like I said, it looks like Allen will come back in this one. These two teams do play again in a few days as well. So Cavs Nets play again in a couple of days. Allen has been out for the last 4 games in this one here. Andy, how you looking at this game? Any props in this one? Maybe some Nicholas Claxton free throws missed.
Yeah, that's good.
Claxton.
Hey, he's 3 out of 4 on his last one. Actually, you know what? Nick Claxton overs have been good. The market caught up to him and overcorrected. You know, I was writing those Nick Claxton unders like since the trades, but you've got a couple things happening. The first is that he has to be out there because he's the only big. So unless he's been staying out of foul trouble for the most part. So he's just getting pure opportunity, and he's just kind of falling into some of these totals. And if you look at his points, rebounds, and assists, I believe it is at 23.5 today. I mean, 19-8-1 against Denver, 14-14-1 against Sacramento, 12-12-2. He's going over this. He's had 11 and 12 field goal attempts the last 2 games. And those rebounds are mostly because he needs to be out there, and he's the only one inside getting those rebounds. So by hook or by crook, Claxton has been getting over. So this is one of those interesting guys that I was riding his unders for game after game after game. Now it's just completely flipped because the market has corrected, and he's got to be out there to get those rebounds. So give me Claxton over. I really like that play.
Andy, the only thing that I worry about, the last 4 teams he's played didn't really have a lot of size down low. Now he might be going up against Mobley and Allen down low. Like, so he played Denver, the Kings, then OKC, and then Denver again. Those are 4 teams that don't really have a true center. I mean, I feel like you can get whatever you want defensively. Like Jokic is not the greatest defender out there. The Kings don't really. I mean, Sabonis is not the greatest defender. The Thunder don't have a center as well. So do you think that those numbers could be kind of tainted a little bit more? Now you're going up against some real dogs, especially if Allen plays.
I think this is why they need him out on the court more than ever. Look for him to have an increase in minutes. He's going to have who else do the Nets have to try and, go up against those guys? So it's one of those things where, of course it's a tough matchup. But he's going to have to be out there. He's going to have to play hard. And even if he does get in a little bit of foul trouble, they don't have a choice. They have to, let him out there and play. So my guess is he gets to 5 fouls tonight, but my guess is he also plays 30 plus minutes and he'll just kind of fall into some of these points and rebounds.
No, that's a great point there. Their backup center is basically Dorian Finney-Smith. When on the Mavs, he was playing like the 3 or the 4 at best. My God, it's not a center out there. And then maybe Watanabe. So that's a great point, Andy. He's basically the only center on the squad. And now when Ronald, I know personally, I'm leaning towards the Cavs here. It's not something I bet. Obviously, I mean, losing a lot of value here as well, Ronald. But what do you think? Like if you had to play a side here, Ronald, would you look towards the Cavs or nothing? Or the Nets obviously this is the 3rd straight home game. They've lost 3 in a row. Do you think they come out a little pissed here, or can the Cavs just overmatch them?
No, I think the Cavs just overmatched them. Like I said, the only reason why I'm off this game is because I couldn't, I guess gauge the Cavs team post All-Star break. Like I mentioned, man, their offense is doing pretty well right now, but their defense is like off and on for the most part. But their offense is off and on, but their defense is on point for the most part. So for me, I don't want to touch it. I think the Cavs win this game. They have to, in my opinion. I think matchup wise, it makes a lot of sense, right? It's just a matter of how will they integrate Jarrett Allen. He's missed 6 games now, 4 games. How do they integrate him back in if he's in? If he's not in, then I would say Cavs. If he is in, it would be more a lean than anything.
That's a good point there. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Cavs in this one. I think Allen comes back, but like you said, we do see teams come back, bring their star player. He's not the star, but you know what I mean. A starter coming back in, it kind of messes up the flow in that one, man. So lean Cavs, but nothing for me there. Guy Ronald, you like the under this one, right?
Team total under on the Nets.
Team total. Team total under for the Nets, and then Andy's liking some Claxton over his points and rebounds. Could not talk you off, and I'm liking over free throws missed, but I don't think you can bet that, guys. Xavier to the streets of New Orleans here, guys. We have the Pelicans land 13 points. I believe it's like up to 13.5 or something now. They're basically 13 points here. Pelicans land a boatload of points versus the Spurs in this one, man. Andy, any props to look at in this one, my brother?
I mean, it's nervous to play some of these Spurs guys under because as a team, these games are just, 126 to 118, a couple overtime. I mean, these games are going over 130 pretty consistently, but I have to keep playing Trey Jones under his points, rebounds, and assists. Part of the thing with the Spurs is they're just rotating so many guys.
I think he out, Andy.
No, he's in. He's in.
In there?
He was like doubtful last night, but then today he was announced in, and then Keldon Johnson is now out. So
I was gonna say Keldon. We can't play our Keldon Johnson over assist prop today because that's been a good one. But no, so you look at the Spurs team and they keep rotating these guys in and out, and no one really is kind of taking the bull by the horns and putting up this huge points every night. So you get some value on these unders. I mean, you look at these points, rebounds, and assist total for Trey Jones. They have it at 21.5. Well, he had 19 last game, and before that he had 20 and 19. He's just dancing around this number, but he's only gotten over this game one time in the month of March, dating back to February. This plays on a 9-1 run, so it's a little bit sweaty because he gets close, but he just doesn't quite get over there. He doesn't quite get the field goal attempts. He's 1 for 7 this month from 3-point field goals. So Trey Jones just doesn't do a lot of rebounding and assisting on a night-to-night basis. So give me his under, PRA.
I like it. Excuse me. What do you think about this game, Ronald? I'll tell you right now, I don't know if I want to lay the points with the Pelicans here, man. I know the Spurs are ass, and they're basically trying to tank this game, and they don't have a center here. So when you start Memo Kelishvili at this 5, they're basically trying. That's when they're doing. They're trying. They don't throw a center out there, so you can get easy baskets in the paint. And this one, Ronald, what do you think? Can the Pelicans get a blowout here?
Yeah, man, I talked about this one on Wager Talk today. Initially, I thought that, like you, I thought Trey Jones was out, and then afterwards they end up flipping from Trey Jones to Keldon Johnson. So, but it's the same thing. I still like the under here. There's a lot of things pointing in that direction. You mentioned Zach Collins being out. I think it's huge. Right? I think they're when I looked at their offensive rating without Zach Collins, they go from 112 to 107.7. It's a big drop here, and I also look at them from a trend perspective. Without Zach Collins, they're 1-12 straight up, 4-9 ATS, losing by an average margin of close to 16 points here. I don't know if I can bet the Pelicans here in this spot either as double-digit favorites, but at the same time, to me, it seems like it's one of those games again. The Pelicans can coast through here and get the W without having to score too many points. They do play better defense at home as well than they do on the road. I looked at a couple of trends here as double-digit favorites. Pelicans 5-0 to the under, double-digit dogs against teams with a losing record. Spurs 4-1 to the under. A lot of things to me pointing towards the under here. Pelicans kind of just been an under team since mid-January, since January 13th, 19-10 to the under, only averaging a combined score with their opponents 22.5 points. Their offense has been struggling, man. They've only gone over their team total in 7 of the last, I think it's like 29 games. Yeah, I can only look towards the under here.
Yeah, I like Spurs team total under a little bit more.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Like it opened up at 113.5, it's down to 109. I feel like this is a game where I'd want to focus more on the Spurs team total under, simply put, because when you don't have a center down there, guys, I'm telling you this, me, Andy, Ronald, and Ski, we can go run and pick up one, maybe Rob Vino or something.
I played basketball last night. I'm ready for you later, Jay.
Hey, all right, my guy. People keep telling me that. You see what I'm saying? We get out there and they're like, damn, I should have practiced a little bit more. But I'm worried about the Pelicans can really put up with 130 if they want to. Now, they don't have the type of offense to do that, but I just worry that when the Spurs really do let go the ropes, like I say, you don't have a center. Valanciunas can go crazy down here, Andy. 2 props that I was looking at in this one. Valanciunas over his points and rebounds. I believe it's at 27.5. On the other side, though, for the Spurs, there's a guy on the team that I believe he just got traded from the Pelicans. Now, he hasn't been playing as well this year, guys, but I guarantee you that they're probably going to throw Devontae Graham into the starting lineup, and he will have a little bit extra pep in his step. I mean, the Spurs don't have a ton of guys out there, so they're going to be giving Devontae Graham some minutes. They don't even have props out on him yet, but I feel like he goes over his points and over his 3-point mades in this one. This is a game that Devontae Graham will get up for, in my opinion. So sneaky prop looks in that one, Andy. Any thoughts on those couple props there?
Love the look, Jay. Always love when you bust out the props. And yeah, without the center, yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. I have bad luck with Valanciunas. Like whenever I'm like, oh man, he's got a great matchup, he'll play 11 minutes. And then I'm like, whoa, tough matchup. And then I'll have like 38 and 14. So I have banned myself for the good of the public on betting on Valanciunas props.
Got you. Yeah, no, it's simply it's a good matchup for him tonight. But yeah, I agree with the under here. The Pelicans don't have the greatest offense, but I want to focus. They do have a great defense though, so I would probably focus in on the Spurs team total under. Although I do think the full game under can still get there as well. But the full game goes under, it's definitely because the Spurs barely even get 100 points in this game. I could see them like getting in the high 90s in this game for the Spurs, but Devontae Graham will still get about 15 points in my opinion, and get about threes made in this one, my guys. That's what I'm looking at in this one. Next game up, let's head over to the streets of Sacktown. Sacramento Kings here getting 5 points at the house versus the Boston Celtics in this one, guys. When you see floating head Jay, that means I have on a green shirt. That means that I'm taking the Celtics in this. So I did a night show last night, took them -4. There was even 3.5s out there. I knew that this line would come up. It's 5.5 starting to pop up there. 5.5 is my cutoff point. 5th game in 7 nights, 4th and 6, 3rd and 4, back-to-back with travel. Kings literally traveling all over the place. I like the fact that they had to expend a lot of energy and try to come back in the game last night versus the Jazz as well, which I do think they lost on purpose, but that's a whole other conversation. But Celtics -5 for me here, Ronald. Could you talk me off, my brother?
Nah, to me, no, I can't. I mean, the Celtics are already they're coming off a loss to the Jazz. That was on Saturday, so they are the more rested team. They also don't play until Friday. So they're in this gap here where they can put a lot of effort into this game, both offensively and defensively. So the Kings, like you mentioned, in the second leg of back-to-back games, they have to put a big effort out against the squad yesterday. They also have a key conference game up next against the Suns here. I'm not too sure they're gonna look ahead to them. I think they also kind of looked ahead to this game in general. We talked about it on Let's Cap yesterday, that look ahead angle here. The one thing that I did notice though is my $2 Tuesday play is on the total of this game, so I'm much more about the side here, but I do like the Celtics side as well. I think one thing that you mentioned is the travel situation there for the Kings. Went all the way to the East Coast to start the travel, come back to Utah, then another back to back here, going from road to home. It's a tough travel spot. And one thing about the Kings though, I talked to you kind of briefly about it before the show. I looked at how they do against these top tier teams. So 60% win percentage or greater. I also looked at it with a higher total, like a high paced game, offensive type game. So that was a total of 230 or greater. They're 2-7 straight up, 1-8 against the spread. The only time that they covered was against the Grizzlies, and that was, I think, a couple of days after Steven Adams got injured. And during that span, like a week and a half or so, probably even longer after Steven Adams got hurt, the Grizzlies were really struggling offensively. So it was a spot for them to take advantage of. And like I said, that's the only time they covered a game in that spot against a team with a 60% win percentage or greater. They've been losing to the top tier teams. Sixers, they already lost to the Celtics earlier this season. This is a spot here where I think a lot of teams, there was a point when a lot of people were looking to fade the Kings in the second half. They proved a lot of people wrong. But I think from a schedule aspect, from their opponent, the Celtics here, I think they might be. I think this is a spot where we finally go against the Kings here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and like I say, Celtics are in the last game of a 6-game road trip, guys, but they did have 2 days off, and they're coming off a loss where they blew a 19-point lead, so that's part of the cap here. But this is a spot where I would fade the home team here in any spot, especially coming in off a 4-game road trip as well, especially 5th game in 7 nights with traveling all across the country in this one. Give me the Celtics in this one. This is a spot that I'll take 10 times out of 10 and live with the results in this one, Andy. A lot of good props coming out in the chat. Tatum rebound assist, Tatum going for 40 piece, all this good stuff, my brother. Any props that you like in this one?
I gotta say, I've gotten some flack today for taking unders, which is like kind of crazy because they keep cashing, but people have said, well, those aren't fun.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's fun?
Money it wins.
Yeah. So let's just go back to Marcus Smart under his rebounds and assists. Don't overthink it. They keep putting it 8.5. This guy's 11-1 now that's fun. Jay, Ronald, going 11-1, that's a lot of fun. So let's just keep playing Marcus Smart under his rebounds and assists. I mean, one thing about teams like the Kings is they're so good on offense and they make so many shots, but they're so bad on defense that they give up so many made baskets as there's just not enough rebounds for some of these guys to get over the rebounds and assists. So we look at Marcus Smart. He's obviously banged up. He tweaked that ankle again. He doesn't look right this season. I don't know if he's got a lingering injury that they're not saying, or if he's just kind of having a bad year, falling off a cliff, but he's not getting it done on the stat sheet. Under Marcus Smart rebounds and assists, that's fun. That's
it is. Hey, my guy in the chat says that's real fun. I wish I had caught that 11-1. Then my guy said, hey, money is fun. And guys, if you like that Spurs team total under, it's getting popped right now. The juice on the under 115, guys. So not many shows I've done where it starts to get popped, but I think we're starting to get to that point in the season. In this one, 579 people watching live in this one, guys. So hey, somebody's going to hop on that under in this one. But yeah, Celtics for me in this one. I always tell people, if you don't like to play, you don't have to take it. I know the Kings are everyone's darlings right now. So if you like the Kings, take them plus the 5, and hey, you know what I'm saying, live with the results. But me personally, I took Celtics -4. I like them up to 5.5. 5.5 is my cutoff point, but I do think this game gets ugly here in the fourth quarter where the Kings run out of gas in this one. It is an NBA TV game. The Kings could try to turn up here to start the game, but this is one that I want the full 48 minutes. I was leaning Celtics first quarter, first half, but like I say, with the Kings coming out so poorly in yesterday's game, I am staying off of them, the Celtics, early in this one. This is one where I want the full 48 minutes. That's where you're going to get the full rest advantage for the Celtics here as well. And like Ronald said, not another game for another 2-3 days. They can expend all their energy in this one, and they don't want to blow a lead in this one, guys. Give me Celtics -5. I like it up to 5.5. If you don't like it, You don't have to play it, my guys. Last game up here. Let's go over here to the streets of LA here. Clippers, land 7 at the house versus the Thunder. Just feels like I don't know anyone that's on the Clippers today. It feels like everybody's like the Thunder here plus the 7. I think this could be a contrarian fave type of play in this one where you don't have that too many often. I lean Clippers here, minus 6.5, minus 7 this one, Ronald. How you looking at this one?
Yeah, this one is probably one of the tougher ones for me just because, you look at any angle with the Thunder, you're going to get a positive ATS record. I think their second best win percentage as road dogs. The only team that they're worst is the Cavs. They're 80%, but they only got a 5-game sample size. They've only been road dogs 5 times. So that's the only reason why, the Thunder are second. But for the most part, they're the most profitable. You could say that. Thunder have been owning this matchup 2-0 so far this season against the squad, but man, I don't know. The Clippers, they're gonna have to turn it around at some point. I don't know when I'm not gonna catch like the falling knife. I think Ski says that, but I think someone mentioned in the chat right there, Zubac double. I was kind of looking in that direction, but I ended up not taking it. I forgot what talked me off. I think Mitch in the chat kind of talked me off of it because Kawhi has been missing the last 2 games against the Thunder. And that's when Zubac, I think he had like 16.5 averaging between those 2 games. But with players coming in and then Plumlee being added to the lineup as well, that's going to kind of take that away and give them opportunity to kind of manage his minutes, I guess, if you want to say that. But for the most part, Thunder, everything's pointing towards the Thunder direction, just like everything kind of pointed towards the Knicks yesterday. It's kind of scary moment to kind of take that. So for me, I'm off this game for the most part. If I was to bet anything, maybe a look towards the over here. The Clippers haven't been playing really good defense. Thunder really good at points in the paint. So the way that it matches up, I would say over. I think there's going to be a lot of layups. It's going to be a layup drill tonight.
I like it. I could not talk you off of that one. My guy Sean, it's like he could. He says he likes Thunder, but yeah, the Thunder can't. They can't really stop anybody inside. They have to do all their perimeter defense here. Andy, how you liking this game? I feel like if you like the Thunder, you just take some SGA props in this one because if SGA doesn't go for 33 to 35 points, the Thunder don't have a chance in my opinion. So I feel like that's more of a safer bet in this one here. Andy, what do you think about some SGA props in this one, my guy?
SGA is certainly a way to go. I mean, when you think of the Thunder, obviously props wise, you think SGA. Agreed. I think it should be a good matchup. I mean, SGA is kind of matchup proof. I really haven't seen him go up against a team that he hasn't been able to dissect. I'm going to go to Jalen Williams though over his rebounds and assists.
Which one, Andy?
What's that?
Which one? Which Jalen Williams? You got the Arkansas one, and then you got the Santa Clara one.
Jalen, because I've been writing that.
Okay, yeah, the good one.
Len, gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, look, they got his rebounds and assists at 9.5. This guy's been torching it. 15, 10, 13, and 17. I was a little bit worried that his production might go down a little bit with SGA in there, but I mean, look at that, 15 against the Phoenix Suns. That was a game SGA played in. And again, we talked about, Claxton needing to be in there. He needs to be in there to rebound because they don't have anybody else. So he's going to mix it up. He's going to get in there and try and fight some of these guys for the Clippers. And, he's been getting it done. And what's crazy, he had 15 rebounds and assists. We only had 28 minutes. So what?
No, they said the good one.
Yeah, the good one.
I think Andy said that. You said the good one.
Yeah, I said the good one.
That's funny, man. No, it's crazy because me and Ski did a show, and he liked. I'm pretty sure he was on the same play that you were on, and I'm like, which one? It's 2 Jalen Williams on the team. And so
the one that warrants getting a line on the books. That one. I want that guy.
Nah, cuz he been balling over there. I think that's the one with from Santa Clara. Right? It's the darker skinned one, right? That you're talking about.
Yeah, Santa Clara.
Yeah. Nah, Cosby, he's a baller. I must say, my guy is a baller out there, man. So, one more time, what was the prop again, Andy?
Over 9.5 rebounds and assists.
I like it. Yeah, he can't get those boards. Yeah, they don't have a lot of guys to get the boards. They will get Pokashesi coming back here on Thursday or something like that, man. But yeah, I think Ronald mentioned it, double revenge spot for the Clippers here as well, right? So personally, I don't want the Thunder here, guys. The Clippers have been playing a lot better. And this is one thing where you can kind of look at the full season stats. It doesn't always tell the story, right? Sometimes you kind of have to minimize it. Look when a team has really turned the corner, and the Clippers have turned the corner, in my opinion, guys. Now they're buckling up. They're locking down on defense. They've getting into an offensive groove. They have the rotation set in this one. So yeah, I'm not betting against the Clippers here anytime soon. I actually think they're a bet on team. Actually, tonight, no one likes them. The favor here after they were all the dogs covered. Now I think it's some room for some of these favors, especially this one where everyone's on the underdog here. So personally, if I like the Thunder, I'm just taking SGA props. But me personally, it's Clippers or nothing for me in this game, guys. It's time to get out of here. Let's recap the free picks in this one. What do you guys have to promote in this one, Ronald? You are the $2 handicapper today over at Sports Memo today, Ronald. What you like today?
Yeah, the $2 Tuesday play is over at sportsmemo.com. It's on that Celtics and Kings game there. Some of the plays that I want to give out today. The first is the Magic. I like them to win this game outright. I know it's going kind of back and forth between -1 and pick'em, but I think they end up winning this game here. The Hawks team total under. I think they cruise through that game. They get the W, but probably I don't think they're going to cover. But if they do, they're still probably going to be under their team total. Spurs Pelicans under the full game number as well. I think both offense teams on the offensive side of the ball are struggling. I can't see them scoring over 230. So those are the three that I want to drop for the show today. Other than that, there's a lot of things that I was kind of looking towards, but definitely not going to get there.
Right there with you, Ronald. Let the people know what you got going over at Sports Memo as well, my brother.
Yeah, just that $2 Tuesday play. I think that the Magic play and the Spurs and Pelicans under, I did play those for sure. I'm gonna add the Hawks team total under, so that's why I wanted to drop those for you guys here. Other than that, I don't want to mention games that I'm not actually gonna put money on. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
We appreciate that, Ron. My guy Ronald coming on here giving out plays that's on his card, my guy. Make sure y'all check out his show, Let's Cap on YouTube. It basically comes up right after my show, guys. They go a lot more in-depth in the game. So if you like for them to really explain out everything, then you watch my guy Ronald's show, Let's Cap. Andy, what do you have going over at Wager Talk and any free picks for us today, my brother?
Well, before you look at my plays, make sure you go get Ronald's $2 Tuesday. You're not going to beat that. So you get a great quality Ronald Cabang play for only $2. So go grab that. 5% UFC play is up. I got to tell you, that's kind of where I'm doing most of my damage now. 7-1 on 4% and 5% UFC play. So that's running really well. Golf, it's a great week of betting golf. It's the match play. That starts tomorrow, so we'll have like 3 or 4 plays: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My best bet, honestly, it's Marcus Smart. I don't need to overthink this. 11-1. I love betting against players that just don't look right and aren't getting it done. The books are giving him a little bit too much respect, and I think too many people are thinking, well, he'll hit eventually. Or he'll go back to his original form. No, this is just who he is this year right now. He's been an under machine for the rest of the year. So for my best bet in the NBA for this show, take Marcus Smart under his rebounds and assists.
I can't talk you off, Andy. And the unders are probably some of your best values because everybody wants to bet overs as well. So, the cash spends the same. See what I'm saying? I wouldn't even listen to that. And if they don't like something that's cashing, fuck them. Y'all don't have to ride with. Take the over then. Shit. But give me the Celtics here. -5. My money's on -4, guys. I always keep it honest with you guys. But I did say last night I like this up to 5.5. So I don't mind going official with the -5. It's either they're going to lose the game or they're going to win by double digits. That's the way I see it, man. So give me the Celtics here, top spot of the day. Honorable mentions of, if I had a second one, Spurs team total under 109, guys. I don't see how I don't sprinkle a little some on that. I hadn't bet it yet, though. So only one play for me, Celtics right now. But honorable mentions. Spurs team total under. Let me see the Hawks first quarter and Sadiq Bey 3 points made over and points over, and then Devontae Graham as well. If you can get some props with that one, I do like his 3 points made over and points over as well, and also lean towards the Clippers and that one, guys. But the only thing I bet are the Boston Celtics floating head J spot today, basically fading the team here in a horrible risk advantage, in a horrible travel spot in this one, guys. So nothing is guaranteed. We take our spots, we go with it. If you don't like it, if you have something deep down in your gut, go with your gut, man. We're not necessarily here to tell you exactly what to bet. We're here to give out sports betting advice and let you know what we bet, guys. It's up to you guys to ride with us, tail fade, all that good stuff. It's Us Against the Bookies. We're trying to get some cash every single day, man. Y'all go holler at Ronald at Sports Mill. Go check out my guy Andy over there at Wage Talk as well. We out, guys. Let's get some cash.